carnage drags on. DeFi protocol Anchor considers cutting yields to stabilize Terra USD.
COVID equals
and we talked to Stacked CEO Joel Birch on why he thinks that digital currencies have further to fall.
IMA. You help Google.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Pippa Stevens. It is red across the board yet again. Crypto prices continue to free fall as investors head for the exits. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin traded around $29,000, and that is actually up from its overnight low of about $25,000. Ether dipped below $2,000, and we're keeping our eye on another stablecoin today, Tether. It fell below its $1 peg overnight to about 95 cents at the low.
Too far out, it's reasonable.
Much of the panic in cryptocurrency markets is tied to Terra USD's crash, and it's hitting stablecoins particularly hard. Tether, which is the world's largest stablecoin, is facing a sell-off as investors grow skeptical that these kinds of assets are reliable. Now, Tether has long been scrutinized for its ability to back up its token with real assets. Tether said USDT was backed 1-to-1 by US dollars held in reserves, but a settlement with the New York Attorney General revealed that isn't the case. Tether relies partially on short-term unsecured debt to back up its assets, what's known as commercial paper. And Tether said it's reducing its reliance on this debt, but right now it only adds uncertainty to a market that's already fearful. Tether's chief technology officer tweeted that Tether continues to honor $1 redemptions regardless of the deep hedging. We're also continuing to watch what's happening with Terra. Activity on the blockchain was officially halted on the network, with Terraform Labs saying Luna prices have fallen so low that it's difficult to prevent a governance attack. It's just the latest in a series of urgent measures taken by Terra to get both UST and Luna under control. Anchor, a decentralized finance protocol that runs on the Terra network, has also proposed cutting yields on tokens held on the platform. The proposal would change the interest rate from 19.5% to just 4%. Finally, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are also watching the turmoil in the stablecoin market closely. Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey said, quote, failure should be an option for stablecoins, and that it will likely take some failures for the market to understand what works. Toomey has proposed clearer guidelines from Congress for stablecoins, but has warned the Biden administration that it shouldn't stifle innovation.
The word, okay.
For our main story today, we're continuing to watch the carnage in the crypto markets. I spoke to Joel Birch, CEO of crypto education platform Stacked, to find out what he's watching in the near term.
Jimmy Bear, I'm using 2,000
So Joel, let's start with just what you think is driving the sell-off. A lot of the narrative has been that crypto's correlated with tech, but now stablecoins seem to be playing a bigger role here as well.
That decline.
Well, I wouldn't say that stablecoins are playing a bigger role. I would specifically say that UST, which had the collapse in the last couple of days, has been the primary factor of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's obviously leading to lower price action right now. So for me personally, I don't have any overarching fear for the larger stablecoin market, in particular USDC or Tether.
These things can and will be used against you as the value of the photon.
System stablecoin led to a lot of panic selling,
double tap on that coin right there.
The sell-off of crypto for sure.
But why do you think that will have an impact across stablecoins? Why do you think that this is more of an isolated instance?
Well, I think you're definitely seeing a lot of people start to question whether or not the money that they have in stablecoins is safe. So you've started to see a little bit more of a bank run across Tether and USDC redemptions. I don't know about USDC specifically, but I think Tether successfully redeemed over $1 billion yesterday. You can go directly to their website to redeem at $1. And so while I do think it is driving investors in some cases to sell the stables they have, those aren't algorithmically backed stablecoins. They're not backed by a volatile asset. They're not set up in the same way that UST is. So if people do bank run Tether or USDC, there should be enough reserves to cover.
Legendary value investor Bill
And you deal with retail investors specifically. So what is the state of retail crypto investors right now with all this volatility, these huge declines? Are they selling? Are they holding? Kind of what is the outlook there?
When do you make your gains?
Yeah, what you're actually seeing right now is that the majority
the foundation out the window
exchanges,
for sure, at least covered there.
Lower than they've been in a long time. So while you've seen this massive sell-off in cryptos, you're not seeing even the sell volume that we saw back in February, you're seeing fairly
new
low
guidance
volumes, and that's
models
because at this
about
point,
down, huh?
a lot of the retail hands are relatively shaken out or diamond handing,
Mitchell's,
to wait for that next run, which is at some point in the
bull
future.
markets,
So you're actually not seeing a ton of capitulation from retail investors. In fact, I think I saw some stats that said retail was leading a buying frenzy last week across both the S&P and cryptos. So I think you are seeing some people try to buy the dip. We've put a lot of belief in the buy the dip mantra. I think it may be a bit premature for some folks,
down a
but
little bit
you're
out
actually
of
not seeing
how much,
how
fast,
volume.
the
You're not seeing a lot of volume
stretching
at all.
out, not trying to make more enemies than
and
friends.
And given how volatile it's been, how do you make sense of the lack of volatility? Usually people are in and out when we see swings like this. So how does that kind of encapsulate how retail views the cryptocurrency world?
Again, I just think that if you look at a lot of the tokens that led the early run-up in crypto, the meme coins, Doge, and Shiba Inus of the world, most of those tokens hit their bull markets top a year ago in May of 2021 and have spent the entire last year doing nothing but going down. So the last 2 weeks, that's not shaking someone out of Doge if they didn't already sell. That's not shaking a retail investor out of their lower cap altcoin if they didn't already sell. And so you're seeing a lot of volatility. You're just not seeing you're not seeing high volume. And so I think as a result,
I could make this
there's not a lot of retail buying interest either. There may not be a lot of selling on the retail side, but there's not a lot of buying interest either. So when people do start to go in and panic sell positions, especially with the leverage that's offered in the crypto markets across derivatives exchanges, you're going to see volatility to downside very quickly. And then the Luna and USD situation, like I said, in addition to the stock market, obviously performing the way it has, all of that is just really going to drive these speculative assets down a lot faster.
All that's going to make a difference.
Talk to me about your price forecast. Do you think in the near term that markets could fall further in crypto, or have we kind of hit a bottom for now at least?
Of the nuclear energy.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of trying to time bottoms because historically I've been pretty poor at timing exact bottoms and tops. I'm someone who is looking to ride cycles, and when I start to feel like things are getting a little crazy, I start to pull back. Right now, I actually have started to rescale into some of my favorite positions over the last couple of days because the sell-off was so vicious that I felt a duty to put some bids in. But I do believe that at the macro, we have more downside, but probably not before some sort of a relief bounce. What I look at is Bitcoin first and foremost from a price action indicator standpoint. If Bitcoin's going down, it's going to be very hard for Solana or Avalanche or Ethereum to outperform. At the end of the day, Bitcoin does still own a lot of that market. The total crypto market cap is down about 66% or about 60% from highs, with 40% of that being over the last 4 to 6
weeks. Like I said,
the
I
last
one of them yesterday on Scott.
Saw the total market cap collapse 90%.
The professor. This is
now,
the classroom. I'm looking for blinkety-winkities, charges. I'm responsible as students to do well without being a guerrilla tribe running around out there about math.
And downside in front of us over the next probably 6 months or so.
Professor.
So with that downside, you also said that you are putting some money to work. So, where do you think is the most attractive area in crypto right now for the longer term investor?
Turning it into fintech for the
so the reason I'm putting some money to work is because even though I believe there's more downside, I don't have a crystal ball. So
that's the output, that's what it is, but it's also a bunch of inversions off gravity off of that. If
I believe that
whatever you were using, you don't believe to be blockchain, I will show you how to blockchain.
For me personally, those blue chip, if you will,
a frame rate, it's fintech that also got to blockchain. If it comes up in the office, whether the money frame rates or the inventory frame rates or anything like that, they're ipso facto going to have a cause and effect on energy not being created nor destroyed, but transformed across spectrums and multi.
Before we go, Rich Repetto of Piper Sandler was on Squawk Box this morning to discuss the turmoil in crypto. Here's what he said.
We wrote a report last year about big technology driving big change. And I don't think, we're certainly not alone. And the people like Michael Novogratz and MicroStrategy,
acquisition and
they believe that
marrying
there's more
quality
cryptocurrency
recruits
there's more to
outside of the
blockchain,
military family amid
ultimately going to change
shrinking qualified population.
That's
this doesn't
all for
need
today.
to be
We are back
military
again tomorrow,
business.
and we'll
it
see you
needs
then.
to be American business. Yeah, you don't need to serve a single day in uniform for this to apply.